Hey everyone, Art here with No Code Devs, and today I'm super excited to show you something that we haven't done before. We're going to use Zapier's new interfaces to build an intelligent bot that provides useful information based upon a data set that we've uploaded to Zapier. This is a really cool new experimental feature, but you can essentially upload your own data set, and then the model will learn from that data set and then provide answers back to the user based only on the information in that data set. So for us, we use our No Code Tools database to allow users to ask which tool should be used to build which kind of app, so on and so forth, and then they get an answer back. Show you how this is done. You can do this for any public data set, any private data set that you have of your own. Super easy to do, super fast to make, and it's really powerful. You can host it on your own domain. You can customize the styles, the colors, the navigations. You can basically build your entire own website completely within this app interface, and it uses the OpenAI integration to make this all work. Let's dive in and check it out. All right, let's go ahead and build our custom chatbot. So a couple things here. We've landed on Zapier.com. So if you don't have a Zapier account, you'll need to create one. You'll also need to enroll in their beta program, at least at the time of the recording of this video, because the interfaces is a beta experimental feature. It's free to enroll, but you need those two things to follow along in this video. Once you've done that, you'll just head on over to the interfaces portion of the Zapier website, and you'll create a new interface, which is where we've landed here. They do have a bunch of different templates, from lead management to onboarding, client hubs, bots, these types of things. You can even start from scratch. We're going to go ahead and use this Zap Chat template because it has all of the framework that we need to build what we're trying to build today, which is a custom bot that's trained on our own data. So we'll go ahead and click into this. It'll spin up the studio, the builder here, where we can really build an entire website. And I'll show you what I mean here. So if we hover over this plus button, there's this add component. You can add all kinds of different components to really build a full-on web page, from text blocks to images to Kanban style things, AI prompts, images, an inbox, even a payment gateway if you would like. So there's really a ton that you can do. We won't go into all of the settings in terms of styling your page, but just want to let you know that there's a ton that you can do. Additionally here, if we go into these settings up here in the top right, we can change our name, we can change user permissions, who can access our app, we can change all the theme colors, upload our brand colors, we can even use the AI theme generator, which is a really handy tool, custom navigation with external links, custom domains. It's really easy. You just point your DNS to Zapier and basically you can use your custom domain. You can have your own branding, like a logo and a fave icon. You can even have Google Analytics tracking. So again, I'm not going to go into all these settings, but I want to let you know that they're all there. There's really a lot that you can do with these new Zapier interfaces. Let's dive into the actual app that we're going to be making, which is our bot trained on the No Code Devs tool database. But this could be any database. This could be public parks. This could be any data set that you've created on your own. You get the idea, et cetera, et cetera. Any data set you can upload right into this, train the model, and then have your users interact with that data. If we hover over this area here that says Zapbot and click edit, this right panel flies out. This is where we can start changing everything and customizing our Zapbot so that it works for our use case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just start renaming this. So we're going to call this a No Code Devs Toolbot. The greeting, we actually want this to be generated. So we're going to have a greeting generated based upon the prompt, or directive, which we'll put in down here. What we're going to do is we'll have this generated and we'll say hello and tell me what you want to do. What's the prompt placeholder for this? We want people to ask our bot what tools they need to build the app. So our prompt is actually going to be, what are you trying to build? As far as the directive, I've already written this out, but this is essentially where you'll put your prompt. I'm going to paste this in here and I'll read it out here, but my directive is, you're an AI chatbot trained to recommend the best no-code tools to build websites, apps, automations, and internal tools. I've been trained exclusively on a database connected to nocodevs.com. Recommend the best tools based on website ranking. Cool. Okay, so that's in there. Now we need to connect our OpenAI authentication. So I've already authenticated OpenAI, so I can just click this here. If you haven't, it's a one-click connect. you do have to have an OpenAI account. Now, I have paid for OpenAI, so I can use GPT-4. I believe if you haven't paid, you're only going to have access to 3.5. Again, that might change depending on when you watch this video, but I'm going to go ahead and click the model. Now, you can adjust some of the settings. You can fine tune this a little bit. I haven't changed much here, so I'm going to leave the max tokens at 2048 and keep the creativity at a 0.7, which is a little bit more creative on the more creative side, but you can tweak these settings to see what kind of different responses that you get. There's also some additional options here like display disclosure, message integrating, which I'm not going to do, as well as some of the height, width, and alignment options. But this is pretty good for our use case. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Save Changes. As I move along here, we'll move on to the next section. So just again, in this right panel, this is where it gets pretty interesting. We can actually connect a data source to this chatbot. So instead of just going out there and asking ChatGPT, it's going to forget about that, and it's going to use the data that we've uploaded to provide answers to our users. For us, it's super interesting because we can download our data set from nocodedevs.com, which has all this tool information, along with descriptions and how much they've been upvoted, how much activity they've gotten on our website, etc. And we can provide that to this interface, and then the interface will look at that tool data set and provide answers back based upon what people ask. So if someone says, I want to build a website for a restaurant that has a backend, our chatbot will be able to provide them with a list of tools that would be appropriate for that type of application. So let's go ahead and click data. And here we go. Connect to a custom data source, upload a file with your own knowledge to tailor the AI chatbot responses for your business or project. So we can hit add source. And you can see here, this is pretty cool. In the future, it looks like you're going to be able to connect a table. I imagine this might be Google Sheets or Airtable, something like that, or a table within Zapier's new table feature, most likely, or a web page coming soon. But for right now, you actually have to upload a file. So what I've done is I've downloaded our database, essentially, of no-code tools into a CSV file and just saved it on my computer. And I'm going to upload it here. So I'm going to go ahead and go find that. And here it is, new tool data.csv. Text-based files support up to 1 megabyte supported. So let's go ahead and add this source. Now, this takes a few minutes, depending on the size of your data set. Our data set's pretty large, so it takes 3 to 4 minutes, I would say. I'm going to go ahead and let this run through. While this is loading up, I'm going to show you what our file actually looks like and how it's formatted, just to show you what this looks like for your own purposes. So if you're uploading your own data, you could like mirror this format. It's a CSV file. Essentially, all that we have is we have the tool name. We have a summary so that there's a description of what the tool does, and then the URL within the No Code Devs website where you can find this tool. So ideally, what will happen, someone will say, I want to build X, Y, and Z. It will scan through all of this data, understand which tool would be most appropriate, and then recommend a tool on the No Code Devs website that they can go out, check out, learn more information, go to the actual tool website, all that kind of stuff. So this is what this looks like here. Just in case you were wondering how it should be formatted, I've learned that a CSV file works fine. I think you can also upload JSON files in some other formats, but CSV definitely seems to work. Okay, so it took just a few minutes, but our data source has finished uploading. And now we can go ahead and test this out and see how everything is working. Just a couple things. I added a couple blocks here. Let me go ahead and say, okay. So this is just a media block, which is essentially a link to an image URL. So to add that, you would just hit add component, and then we would find this media block. I just dragged this in here. Simple as that. And connected to the URL of the image, you can adjust the content alignment, the width, all that kind of stuff. Up here for the navigation, these are just some of the settings that I changed, just so you can see everything that I did. It's actually right in here in these settings. Here's the theme, change some of the colors, the navigation, display navigation pages on, includes my logo in the navigation, yes. And then links, I just added one link to the NCD homepage. Custom domain, I connected bot.nocodedevs.com and I pointed it towards the CNAME that Zapier provided. It was super easy. In terms of branding, I just uploaded my logo, the default logo height, display the logo on the main page, favicon as well. And you can even turn off the built with Zapier label, which I did. So you can completely white label this, which is super cool. I don't have any tracking set up, but that's how I set up all of the settings that make it look a little bit nicer here. Now that that's all done, we can go ahead and just review our settings again. The no-code devs toolbot, the greeting is generated. Here's our directive. The data is uploaded here. If this is important, so if there's no results found, you can either have it generate an AI response without data sources, so just basically use OpenAI to provide a response, or you can show a custom message, which is, sorry, I can't find a match in the data. I'm leaving it as this, but you could change those settings if you want to. You could also add actions that happen after a user gets a response. I don't have any of those turned on, but that is an option here. You can also embed it in your website, show it as a pop-up, that kind of thing. So super cool. You can just show this right on your webpage, which we may actually do in our case, but we have it on a custom domain right now. So now that all the settings are configured, let's go out here and try this. So bot.nocodevs.com/ZapChat. I actually do have this on a custom domain as well, but this is what it looks like. Right when this loads up, it says, hello, I'm an AI chatbot. I'm here to help you navigate the world of no-code tools. I can recommend top-ranked tools, build websites, apps, automations, and internal tools. I can provide you with detailed information about these tools, guide you on their usage, and even suggest the best fit based on your specific needs. All my recommendations are based on database connecting to nocodevs.com. So what can I assist you with today? Awesome. Seems like it's working. We have our nice nav here with the logo and a link to the NCD homepage. Let's just try to say what we're trying to build and see what kind of response that we're going to get. So I would like to build a website with a complex database and see what we get. Based on your needs, here are some top-ranked tools. You can build a website with a complex database, and it's going to list out a set of tools that you could use in this use case. I'm not going to click through all of these, but if you were to click into these different tools, it would actually send you to our web page because that is the data that we use to train this model. So if we click softer, for instance, we go right out to the softer page on nocodevs.com. Super cool. It uses our own data. It sends people to our own domain versus a third-party domain. So we get that organic traffic if anyone's using this bot. Really cool. Okay, so that works great. What if we just want to build a simple landing page? If you're looking to build a simple landing page, here are some top-ranked no-code tools you can utilize. And it's going to go through here: bounce page, instant page, early bird. Now, again, this is data that is only in our database. So if there's a new tool out there that's great that we don't have in a no-code devs tool database, it's not going to know it. But that's the whole point here, is that we're using our own data to build this. Again, if you have your own data or some sort of public data set, you could very quickly spin up a very functional chatbot app on your own domain that works very well. It's very familiar. So if anybody's used ChatGPT or any sort of prompting engine, this would be very easy for them to use. It's fully on brand. Super cool. I hope this was helpful. I think I covered everything in this video that you would need to build something like this pretty quickly. It's super easy. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Thanks so much for checking it out.